Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Elle Studio to share with you this layout that I created using the September kit. So yesterday the October kit was released, but while you're there, make sure you pick up some of these goodies from the September add-ons as well. So I created my own background. I used the stamps from the Good Time stamp set and some Versamark ink, as well as just some clear embossing powder. And so you don't actually see the texture in the background. It's really more of a tone on tone, and it's really subtle, but I really like the effect of it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep stamping and spreading the embossing powder and then pouring the extra back into, a lot of people use a coffee filter. I happen to have this little tray, and then that way I can just pour it all back easily into the container that it came in. I do not do enough embossing that I can store the coffee filters that a lot of people use. I probably could do it with the Versamark. I'm sorry, the Versamark is not the embossing powder. With the clear embossing powder, because I do tend to use that particular one a lot. But again, I don't feel that I use it enough that I want to store that coffee filter in a Tupperware and take up space that way. So I ran the heat tool over that to melt the embossing powder, and I skipped going through all of that on the video because I was getting a lot of shake and the heat was actually warping my board, so I had to do it off of my workspace there. These are letters that I cut using the Home Sweet Home paper. I absolutely love this patterned paper this month. Or from the month of September, I should say. The colors are just absolutely right up my alley, those really rich jewel tones. I used, I believe Playbill was the font, and you can see that the title really ends up being the bulk of the layout there for me. I am going to use leftovers as the header and the footer, just along that skinny spot right there. So you can see I'm really struggling with this label. This was a print and cut label. Some of the labels were slightly off, and that is more my silhouette's fault than it is the program's fault. And I really wanted to use the label somehow in that little header footer space, but I just couldn't make it work. I was fighting with it, and there comes a point when it's just not worth it. I am going to try and incorporate labels somewhere else into the layout. The way that this photo sticks out of the ampersand, I really liked, but I felt like I needed something to balance it on the opposite side. And actually, I should have gone with that label right there, but I don't for some reason. I think I wanted to house, the point of the label was to house the house, but it just, as I was creating and looking at it from the angle that I'm looking at it, it just didn't work. So I have gotten better about committing and sticking. Are you one of these people, when you scrapbook, do you lay it all out and then stick it down? And then, like I do, often forget where things go, or it doesn't quite go where you'd spent so much time laboriously trying to get it? Or are you one of these people who can stick as you go? I'm trying to be a little bit more stick as I go, and so that's what's going on here. I don't know what the rest of this layout's going to look like, but that's okay because I've got this foundation and I'm going to commit to it and build the layers from that, not build the layers around. So around that, not in conjunction with that per se. So as you saw there, I had a 3x4 card. I'm going to use that to frame the photo. I like the way that the orange complements that giant orange ampersand. And I had tried to make the bottom of the card frame the bottom of the photo, but it looked kind of funky, so I just left that. You'll see here, I originally straight cut this, but then I'm going to go in with my scissors because it's just too structured. So I will go in, and here's that label that I really, really want to get in there. See? I just can't make it work. I actually put it away there and leave it. I do try a smaller label thinking that'll work better, but no such luck. So this is a puffy sticker from the Happy Moments puffy stickers, and I am going to play with where I want it. You can see that I'm drawn to sticking it there, and that's where I stick it. Now, I will tell you off camera it's actually after I have taken or while I'm taking the photos for this, I move it because I find where the together is, it blocks the top part of the ampersand, and while you know it's an ampersand, it's distracting to me. It's visually distracting, and so I am going to move it down to the bottom of the ampersand and cover up my arms, which is just fine. So there, I found a label, yay! And I really like the way that that round label works with the roundness in the ampersand, and it ties into the circles that are in the backgrounds that are that tone on tone that you can't see. These are also stickers from the Happy Moments Puffy stickers. And I'm just using those to kind of draw your eye down the giant title there. And then I'm going to pull out, these are the tiny everyday label stickers. And I really wanted to get a little bit more of that orange in the layout somehow. And so I thought I was going to use one of the tiny label stickers, but then I found that heart to put in the middle of that label, and it's just perfect. I do decide that I want to use another little bit of orange down the bottom so that then I have that trio of orange, and that makes me happy because those of you who know my scrapping know I like those trios. So I have one of the phrases from the Good Times stamp, and this says special moments documented. For some reason I keep wanting to stamp it upside down. This is not the first time that I've stamped it, but the way that it looks backwards, for some reason upside down looks best to me. So I want to somehow put on here anniversary, and I thought maybe I might put anniversary dinner, but I actually just liked anniversary, and it was a nice way to pull that teal color into the layout. So I'm going to use the alpha stickers, the puffy alpha stickers, to do that. And I'm going to, before I commit to where they go, do the usual Suzanna title shuffle, because there's something about, I like the way that the photo sticks out of the ampersand, but there's something about where I wanted anniversary to go within that horizontal column that I have, but it just didn't work, because then it read you and me together anniversary, together you and me anniversary, and it just made no sense in the flow of how the words were going to go. So really right there is the only place that it makes sense for it to go. It kind of becomes a subtitle of what in ways, and then that leaves me my journaling to go underneath there. So that, my friends, is a layout created using the Elle Studio September kit and add-ons. So when you're shopping for your October stuff, make sure to add some of these goodies in there, especially that pattern paper pack. I really, really love it, as well as the Happy Moments puppy stickers. So enjoy these close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.